Hello, my name is Grisbear, and this is a world record speedrun of Garshasp, Temple of the Dragon, with the category any percent easy mode. Now, this run was actually recorded while I was watching other streamers on Twitch speedrun their games, so I thought I'd just record a little bit of a voiceover to submit with the world record, just to give a little bit of an outline during this world record run. So currently we're in a 2 minute 20 cutscene, so I'll just talk a little bit about why I'm doing this instead of just submitting a video without any sound. Basically, my thoughts are, because there is no sound in the video, I'd rather just overlay my own voice speaking about the world record and see what can be improved, despite the fact that it is world record, and where the run can possibly go from here on. So like I say, still got a fair bit of this cutscene to go, and once I get to certain areas, I'll start talking a little bit more about the run itself and just describe what's happening. This hopefully will be submitted along with the world record, just to give people kind of a second kind of commentary to watch, really, because the recorded world record has no audio in it whatsoever. Like I said at the start of this video, the reason is for that is because I was watching other streamers doing their runs at the time, and I didn't want their audio coming across in my own recordings, so that's why the game has no sound. So to start off, I just want to say, first and foremost, the movement in this run is terrible. So I can easily save 5, 6, maybe even 7 seconds just on general movement. So yeah, that's a fairly good place to start. So cutscene's coming to an end here after Garshasp finished talking with his brother, and we'll get right into it. Alright, so here we go. Straight away, this first movement is actually fairly decent. Coming up the first skip, I believe I had a little bit of a problem with this, getting this, I didn't get a first try, but third try is pretty good, all things considered. I got one of the enemies in a really good position, and we're already on the second skip, which was actually fairly quick. I got around the barriers fairly quickly, despite the fact of rolling still out of bounds, but I was able to land within a suitable position to get into a checkpoint and reload the checkpoint. And clearly you can see, yes, I'm losing time on just general movement going up to this bridge section here, which, like I say, can probably save anywhere between 5-7 seconds across the entire run, to be honest with you. So while the first two skips were relatively quick, there is still time already to be saved within this first split. So because we rolled another cutscene, we hit a checkpoint, which lets us reset the checkpoint and skip that cutscene. Saves a minuscule amount of time, but it's always good to have. And here we are already at the first split, with a 2-second gold through that checkpoint right there. Like I say though, the movement itself wasn't very good, and the skips weren't necessarily perfect, but I still managed to gold that segment. I'd like to say another 5 seconds can be saved on that segment, easily. Already having problems with third skip, lost a fair bit of time there, but got the jump almost immediately when going for it. So again, possibly another 3 seconds there that can be saved just by not getting hit by the enemy, but I'll take what you can get, especially with third skip, which is actually very difficult. Jumping puzzle, fairly simple. Not really any more time to be saved there. Maybe a second, I guess, just for general movement. But already coming up to fourth skip, starting the wiggle straight away, and I will say I had a really good wiggle here. I know that sounds really weird to say, but the wiggle is very smooth and it gets a very clear transition with the camera moving upwards. It's a fairly quick transition as well, so I'm happy about that. It saved a fair bit of time coming up to the next segment. But during this split, I feel as though like I say, the only thing that could have been improved so far during this split is getting third skip first try, getting over the boss first try. On top of that, the only other thing that I could ask to improve on this, or grind to improve, is just general movement through the jumping puzzle. So while I'm going on attacking 30 times here, I just want to make note of that this skip has been a very big problem for me recently, as I discovered while live streaming on Twitch that the skip doesn't always work in terms of consistency. While I'm streaming on Twitch, something weird happens. I can't get the skip to work in 30 attacks. It always works in 35, but whenever I use 30, I don't even get out of the wall. So that is why I've been doing a lot of local recordings recently and just grinding offline, essentially, because I'm losing a fair amount of time during the split because of that those frame drops that Twitch is causing. So again, I had a one bad roll there, which only lost a couple of seconds, but like I say, calculating how much time to be saved over the course of this entire run, it's easily within 10-15 seconds over the entire run. And this is a new skip that was only discovered recently. We can reset the checkpoint during that fade out, which spawns us actually in the boss fight, but the boss isn't actually spawned within the first phase. But even without the boss there, activating the spikes will progress the phases. The boss needs to be hit twice during this phase. Even if he's not here, we only need to activate the spikes twice, and that triggers the next phase of the fight, which works out very well because we can skip that cutscene and save 40 seconds. And as you can see in my splits, I actually missed hitting that split, which is why the split is now blank, because obviously false golds and stuff like that. So because of this cutscene skip, there is still a cutscene at the very top of the arena where the cutscene would normally play, so we cannot move towards the top of the arena, which is why we have to jump down to the left side of the boss during the second phase, instead of on the right side, which is actually quicker on the right side. Because we have to jump down the left, we lose a fair bit. We only lose like minuscule amount of time, but it's just safe to do so because you completely miss the cutscene triggers. This boss fight actually went fairly well. I got a fair few nice counters in it, and his AI was actually relatively kind in terms of not doing the knockback. So I actually got a fairly quick kill in that boss fight. And during the run, it was at this point where I had a look over at the time. I saw that I was on 7 minutes 50 seconds. And I was sat there thinking, Jesus Christ, this is a very quick run. It could possibly be like 9, 10 or something like that. 9 minutes, 10 minutes. English, 9 minutes 10 seconds. Because of that, I knew that this was easily going to world record. However, I didn't realize that it would be a lot better than that, to be perfectly honest, because of the last section. The bridge itself, which will appear after this cutscene, is fairly RNG based. You can get blocked by the enemies while rolling, so the best thing to do is to jump over all the enemies, but that is slow, so you want to roll whenever possible. If I remember correctly, coming to this bridge, I got one minuscule block, which only lost barely even a second. But as you'll see here, coming up to the end of the run now, that's the block I'm talking about. Got blocked once, had to jump a little bit, which wasted a little bit of time, but the rest of the RNG was actually fair. So that's how we ended up with a 9-minute run. Well, 8:59 was the final time, which is fairly decent actually, considering because this game has gone through a little bit of a route change recently with a couple more skips added in terms of skipping cutscenes, which overall has saved a lot of time on the run. The first time I saw this game run was at ESA 2019 summer, where the runner, Epic Dude Guy, had a run with a world record time of 10 minutes 27 seconds. Since then, like I say, a couple new skips, cutscene skips specifically, have been added to the run, which has reduced the game's time by a hell of a lot. as you can clearly see with the first sub 9-minute run of this game. In terms of where this run can go, I believe an 830 is possible, like an 830x, but if you're talking about the perfect run, I believe it's sub 830 is possible. But that will take a lot of grinding in terms of RNG, in terms of NEB positioning, so that you can get first and second skip very quickly, in terms of boss AI, how often he will do the bad attacks. But other than that, it was a pretty good run in my opinion. So I'm going to sign off now because we're just in the credits here. There's nothing really more to say on the run itself. It's a fairly quick and standard run, but yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next run.